Syria now, and fears al-Qaeda is using the country as a base to recruit extremists, some of them Americans, in plots against Western countries, including the United States. Our chief national security correspondent, Jim Sciutto, is joining us with new information. Jim?
Well, Wolf, U.S. authorities have known for some time that extremist groups fighting in Syria have a desire to plot terror attacks abroad, including against the U.S. Now I'm told the U.S. is watching closely for signs that those ambitions are morphing into operational planning. I'm also told that these groups have a desire to train American veterans of the Syrian fighting, and there are dozens of them, to carry out attacks here on the homeland.
He allegedly fought in Syria for al-Qaeda-tied militants.
Hell yeah. We smoked about, I don't know, 10, 20.
Bragged on the internet about shooting down a Syrian aircraft. And he is an American. Eric Haroun, a former U.S. soldier, is one of an estimated 50 Americans who joined the insurgency in Syria. And now U.S. authorities are gravely concerned they're being recruited to carry out terror when they return home.
One of our greatest concerns is al-Qaeda operatives in Syria training Westerners, including Americans, that have legitimate travel documents that can travel back to Europe and the United States. And hit Western targets. Right now, the fight's in Syria, but tomorrow they want to bring the fight back to the United States.
Syria, 2 years into a brutal civil war pitting radical Islamist groups and more moderate rebels against the regime of Bashar al-Assad, has become a new base for recruiting, training, and launching terrorism against the West, including the U.S. A U.S. official tells CNN foreign fighters now number in the thousands, and most of them gravitate toward the more radical extremist groups, which have operational ties with core al-Qaeda. The official says the U.S. is now watching closely for signs their ambitions, including those of Americans, could be morphing into operational planning.
They're well-trained, they're radicalized, and they have the ability and the intent to strike the U.S. homeland.
American fighters have bragged about their violent exploits in Syria.
Bashar al-Assad, your days are numbered. You're gonna die no matter what. Where you go, we will find you and kill you.
The fear now that others may someday brag about terrorism at home.
That's it for now. Come on.
Now, there are several ways U.S. authorities are tracking these Americans, their travel documents, of course, but also human intelligence sources on the ground in Syria, signals intelligence, phones and emails, and interestingly, via social media, these fighters like to brag about their experience on the ground there, and then they post it on Facebook, Twitter, Wolf, and that's one way that we're able to keep track of them.
Jim Sciutto, thanks very much.